Good evening. It's August 19th, 2014. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In the event of an emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers are through the 3 rear doors. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out the front door and move away from the area of the front steps. Any members of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Minichinko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski. Here. Mr. Moore.
Here. I'd like to move into the motion, get a motion for approval of minutes for July 15th, 2014.
Yes, Council President, I ask for the approval of minutes for July 15, 2014, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
I'll abstain.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We have 2 presentations tonight. I'd like to ask Councilman Armstead to call down his scholarship recipients.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. This evening, we'll be awarding 3 scholarships to 3, who I think, outstanding students in Linden. Many years ago, my mother and a group of ladies in town formed a group they called the Linden Scholarship Guild. And they would get together every year, and they would, raise money and give out scholarships to needy children in our community. One of those ladies is here tonight, my Aunt Elaine Mosley. And, it's in that tradition and that spirit of giving that we continue to try to give to our young people. I'm delighted to be able to give 3 awards out this evening. We normally give out 2 awards, and if we have any extra, we try to give out an athletic award. And so tonight, we have 3 recipients. I'm going to call them all up. The first one we have is Ashley Thibault. Did I say that right, Ashley? Okay. Anyway, lovely young lady, hard worker, and she's going off to college this year, and we're very proud of her. Again, it's very difficult. We have a number of students who apply, and we do a lot of things. We take sometimes the academics, we take their life story and whatever obstacles they overcome when we factor in how we make our selection. And then after all that, I get a chance to put my weight into the overall decision. So, and 3 people we have this evening, believe me, they're outstanding. And I just want to thank you for applying, and good luck. Okay?
Good job.
Oh, Ashley, come back, Ashley. Ashley, we got to take a better picture. Okay. I wasn't looking at the camera. We have 2 Ashleys this evening. We have Ashley Shoppy, another hardworking young lady, and she'll be going off to school this year also. And we'd like to congratulate you and keep up the good work. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to award you a scholarship. our athletic scholarship, got a little story behind this one, okay? This young man, his grandfather used to be my Pop Warner football coach, and also coached my aunt's son as well, Mr. Jones. Great guy, great family. His mother used to be a football mascot with my sister Sonia. They were the cutest little things out there, you know. But it just gladdens my heart to be able to do something for them. I didn't even make the connection to who his father was. I know his father all my life also. But he's a great kid. He was a wrestler in high school. And again, we give out 2 scholarships. If we have anything extra, we try to give an athletic scholarship out to an individual. And this last one is going to Nicholas Tekula. Nice young man, and we wish him well. And we know he's going to do great things for our city. He's already represented us very well as a wrestler in this town, and we're very proud of him. So come on up, Nick, and get yours. The whole group, come on up. We want to take a group picture.
Thank you very much, Councilman Armstead. Tonight we have a second presentation, and I'd like to ask Councilman Medina to introduce Alpha Dog. They're making our new city website. Councilman?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for all being here tonight. I asked Michael Melham from Alpha Dog to come over tonight to give a brief overview of the new city website. It's been this council's goal and the technology committee's goal to streamline the way we communicate with the residents of Linden and how we put up information on our city website. So that being said, I'm going to just hand this off to Michael Melham, and Michael, I'll let you lead the way.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mr. Council President, for having me. Members of the council, again, my name is Michael Melham. I'm the president of Alpha Dog Solutions. Alpha Dog Solutions is a municipal website company. We currently represent about 16 different municipalities throughout northern New Jersey. Actually, if you want to put the lights on for just a few minutes, because before I get into the, that's good, perfect. As I said, our company currently represents about 16 municipalities throughout northern New Jersey. We're very unique in our concept. We are very content driven. So what we do is we come in, we meet with a municipality like Linden. We sit down with the department heads, different, depending on the form of government, the members of the administration, and we actually take various work from your existing website, try and rework that, work with departments, and try and figure out the best thing of what your citizens may want. Again, that's all based upon our past experience. We've been doing this for 10 years. Myself, I was a former Essex County webmaster, served in that capacity back in the 90s before there even was county webmasters. My background is in local government. After that, I served 4 years on the Belleville Municipal Council. So again, I have a good knowledge and understanding of municipal government. When I left the Municipal Council in 2004, took my then web design company and transitioned it into something that just specialized in local government. We felt that there was a void there that we can fulfill, and it's been great. In the last 10 years, we've enjoyed a 100% renewal rate among all of our clients, and as you all know, we have to be renewed annually. So we're very proud of that track record. That's mostly because of the service and the product that we provide. What you're seeing here is our most recent launch, which is obviously the city of Linden. I say most recent launch because we work on a platform, or you can call it maybe a framework, whereby we take a lot of research and development on our side and develop what we think is the acceptable look and feel for a municipal website. We work in municipalities of 2,400 up to 70,000. We kind of run the gamut. Our product is able to scale. The most important thing about our product is really our service, and I'm going to touch on that real quick. You may see some nice content up here today as we walk through it. I'm going to point some things out to you. One thing you will get is something that is absolutely up to date. The problem we find as we survey many residents and constituents is that once they find a website that has outdated content on it, they just close it down, pick up the phone, and try and contact somebody. It's our goal with the website that has up-to-date content to try and alleviate some of those calls that may be coming into Town Hall. And we do that because we are constantly in day-to-day communication with members of your administration. We serve at the capacity that we actually take the content that we receive and we publish that content, whether that's an upcoming event, whether that's a flyer, whether that's photographs of upcoming event. As a matter of fact, by tomorrow morning, you'll see photos of this presentation today up on the website. So we are content driven, which is nice. Speaking about content, many of you probably know by now, the state recently, a couple years ago, mandated New Jersey best practices. That came from the governor's office down, and that mandated that municipalities actually provide some level of transparency, whether it's your budgets, your audits, financial statements, notices, RFPs, RFQs. So that right there mandated that municipalities must publish this type of content. And there was actually a penalty if you didn't. They would hold back certain percentage of your state aid. We are 100% local government checklist compliant. Our website has the ability to handle every single one of those issues. As a matter of fact, we take it a little step further. We actually work with and communicate with the CFO at the end of the year when that audit's due. We will actually certify the information that's on your website, sign off on it, give it to your CFO, so he or she does not have to actually do that work. I will say that Linden is pretty good. Compared to our other 16 municipalities, Linden's probably on the top half of that as far as what they provide on their website, which is nice. So this is it here. We basically take the framework and we work with the client. We deal with your logo, your municipal seal, what colors you may be. As a matter of fact, this was, I think, the second color scheme that we went with. We took your seal, we worked with all photos. We actually source local photographers from the area to find good landmark pictures to actually provide. If not, we actually send our own photographer out. I know it's a nice day out. I'm not going to get into the really technical specifics of everything that we offer. I just want to kind of walk through the site real quick. You'll see that on the top half side, on the left-hand side here, is your community events. Again, we've worked with many, many residents, constituents, and even town employees to figure out. The first question we've asked many, many years ago was when that phone rings at your municipal office, whether you're the clerk, whether you're the health officer, construction code, DPW, what are people looking for? We use that information to decide what actually ends up on the homepage of the website. So you're going to see here community events, and forgive us if our connection's a little slow. We're actually on a cell phone connection. We are on Wi-Fi now, okay. So you see community events. Community events are 100%, my pointers, okay, up to date. Tomorrow morning, if you come to this website, you will see that top one, Concert in the Park, Epic Soul. You'll see that's gone because it'll be the next day. It'll be off the calendar. There will be an archive of that in the 30-day view calendar. The next 2 or 3 events will bump up. It'll look at your community calendar, pull the next one up there. So it's good because it's always up to date, which is nice. Same exact concept with your upcoming meetings. If your upcoming meetings, we basically source, I believe, 9 or 10 different meeting types, whether it's council meetings, zoning meetings, planning board meetings. All of those meetings are set in our 30-day calendar view, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But right now, we're dealing with just the next upcoming ones. If you were to click on that link right there for City Council, if you were to click on that City Council meeting link, you'll get a shadow box, or some would call it a pop-up box. That'll give you some of the details of the meeting. Some important information would be listed there. If we have an agenda prior to the meeting, agenda would be there. A week or a month from now, if we have the meeting minutes, that would also be there as well. So if you close that out, right underneath that is your City Council meetings. We don't, You can click on it if you want. That really goes to the city's YouTube page, which keeps an archive of all the city council meetings. So direct access from this website to your city council meetings. Just below that is our transparency portion, which really centers on New Jersey best practices. That checklist that I mentioned before about New Jersey best practices, all of your financials, audits, whatever we've been provided with from the city would actually go here. There are some other instances for New Jersey checklists that are throughout the site, but this is where your financials would be located. Going down a little bit on the left-hand side, you're going to see the quick link section. That is completely customized to our client. So whatever our client wants us to have as far as community links, county links, state links, federal links, these all go to third-party websites, which means you leave our site when you actually engage them. And again, highly customizable. We can get a phone call that says, add this link. Our residents are searching for it. It goes up. Speaking of, actually, no, let's continue down a little bit before I get into that. That might be the end there for the left-hand side. Underneath that is actually just graphic buttons that we create. We figure out, and we use municipal staff to actually answer this question. What is it that maybe some residents are looking for that we might not want to just bury as a text link within quick links? So we will actually source our graphic designer who's on staff, and we'll ask him or her to make a custom graphic for our client. So those graphics are all custom to Linden. Whatever, here we have Nixle, you have your crime mapping, you have your featured projects. Anything that we want to basically highlight that would be a link that we don't want to just use a text link for. Again, goes to a graphic designer, creates a nice graphic, we put it up. That's really the whole left-hand side. As we get into the center section of the homepage, you'll see that if we had different resolution here, you would actually see 3 sliders here that slide across. We actually use them. If you think of a newspaper, we want certain information to stay above the fold. So that's the best way to keep things up top. Those would be your seasonal issues, whether or not you're having concert series, parking permit information, maybe a recycling schedule. Content that we don't necessarily want to get dropped down to the bottom as we add new content on top. That's kind of the purpose of that. We could have an unlimited amount. Right now there's 3, and it rotates as long as it needs to actually get to all of them. Directly underneath that is our public notices. This is a New Jersey checklist compliance issue. They want them pretty bold. They want them right kind of smack center of the homepage, and here they are. So we have our employment notices, which is a public notice. We have our notice to bidders and our RFQs. So if the purchasing department or the clerk's office or somebody gets a phone call looking for an RFP and RFQ, you can direct them right to the website. If you were to click on either notice of bidders or RFQ, those mean that there's actually something live on the site right now. You would not be seeing those notices if the RFP or RFQ was not issued. The great part about that is that we work with your financial staff. They can provide us, whether it's a landfill gas enclosed flare system repairs bid, they can provide that to us a week or 2 in advance. We program the website that on a certain day it goes live, on a certain day it goes down, which is nice. So all those are programmed by our back-end database, which is nice. As we keep going down, we don't necessarily have to click through all of them. As we keep going down, we're going to get to our main news section. So our main news section is right here in the center of the homepage, and this is actually date specific. So as we get new content, the information here will actually go down to the bottom. It'll keep going down. You may ask, how do we find out what's going on in Linden? What happens is we've reached out to most of your department heads, members of the administration. They have a system where they contact us directly. It is not necessarily a phone call or an email. We have a really highly organized system which provides accountability on both sides. Years ago, I mentioned we've been doing this for 10 years. Years ago, 5, 6 years ago, my clients would just email me, hey, there's a flyer, I have a presentation tonight, can you get on the website? And I'd have to email that to somebody else and walk down the hall, see if it got done, come back, email the client. And we probably have 15 contacts per client in 12, 15 towns. At that time, it's a lot. So just to add some accountability on both sides, I was the one that would get the phone call from an angry mayor or council person saying, why is that up on the website, or why'd that come off the website? So now we have, on our side, we have a ticketing system, which is great. It's a dedicated email address that members of your administration have, your department heads have. They just email us a press release or a news item. The second that content is received, an automatic email gets triggered back to them, letting that person who submitted the content know it's been received. It's accountability on both sides. We now know who submitted it, what time they submitted it. Second that ticket comes in, it gets assigned to a person within our staff. They perform the work. The second they close the ticket, The person who submitted the ticket gets an email saying your work has been complete, check the website, make sure it's accurate. It's great, because now we know how long that ticket was open, we know what time it was submitted. If I get a phone call, I can easily track who submitted it and who on my side did it and how long it took. So it actually works out really well. That's basically how we get our content. The center of the homepage will have content that disappears, because if there's a specific event, maybe a concert in the middle of September, we will promote that. We're not necessarily told by your staffers what to do with the content. Keep that in mind. We may get something for a concert in the middle of September. We take that information, we make a news story, dead center of the homepage. If it's date specific, we add that information to your community calendar. If we manage your social media, and in Linden we do, we'll push that out on Facebook and Twitter. The second that event is over, it comes off the homepage, and it actually gets archived in the calendar. So we're basically guaranteed not to have any outdated information on the site. You can scroll down. Really, the center of the homepage is just basically an archive of different news that's usually current. The only time you'll see something past would be like maybe a photo presentation. Like tomorrow, you'll see a picture there that says photo presentation. Click here and you go inside to our photo gallery. Other than that, you can really go all the way down to the bottom, and it's really just news. We're not going to sit here and walk through them all. Here's a past event there that you'll see that there were pictures taken. A lot of news, a lot of content until you get down to the bottom of the page. Yep, that's basically it. You could always continue to show more. So if you want to go back up to the top. We're going to head back up to the top now. I'm going to do another 2 minutes on the right-hand side. Go down a little bit. You have a search function directly underneath these 3 banners here. We have all of our elected officials. The elected officials are prominently located on the home page here on the right-hand side. My pointer's not working, but if you were to click on an elected official, you'll see a headshot, you'll see a biography, you'll see some kind of contact information that we've been provided with, whether it's an email or a phone number. Underneath that, we have all of our departments. Public affairs, we work with many different forms of government. In this form of government, everybody's under a different department, so we actually like to list them all. That's kind of interesting because we don't necessarily want people trying to guess. I want the health department, are they in public affairs, or are they in this? So we kind of like to list every single person. If you were to click on, say, fire prevention, which is in public safety, you'll see a department page here. It's the only one we're going to click on. You'll see a department page here, which gives a little brief overview of the department. Usually it's image specific. We have a summary of different services they offer, some frequently asked questions, and then as you scroll down just a little bit more, you're going to see probably a news item. Perfect. What happens when content comes in for the homepage? If it is specific to a department, we'll actually tag it. So if we get a story that's fire related, it goes on your homepage, and we tag it fire prevention. It'll also show up on that department page, which is nice. So you kind of get it in both ways. Other than that, just a little more down the right-hand side. That was really the department page. We also, while we're trying to scroll down, we also track your statistics. So the site is equipped with Google Analytics. So right now we've only been live for a short time. I don't really have great numbers to talk to you about, but every January I do ask the council to entertain a presentation like this, where I actually come in and we do a state of the website address, and we go over your statistics and some of the positive issues that you're having with your website, some of the content and stuff like that. It's just we find that residents really like that. Underneath the departments, you have your boards. Underneath that, you have your social media. As I said, we are now on Facebook and Twitter. We actually are, I think, contemplating a social media policy, which we're going to have up. We actually legally archive all of your social media. So it's public documents. So we have a policy in place that we're going to ask, I believe, to be discussed and if not voted on shortly. That policy allows us to monitor your social media. If there's an issue with somebody who violates that social media, uses foul or profane language, gives comments that are threatening in nature, something that violates your social media policy, we have the legal right to remove that. And as we remove that, everything is professionally archived, so that is still a matter of public record. If somebody submits an open request for that comment or something like that, even though it's been removed, we can actually produce that, which is nice. That's really the home page. There's no point in really spending too much time on it. We're good. If you look at the top links here, we have community calendar. If you just want to click on that real quick. Community calendar is a 30-day view, just like Microsoft Office. You get the full 30 days there. You can go forward and backwards, so there's always an archive of what we have there. Again, there's no point really clicking on much. 2 different colors. Blue is an event, green is a meeting. It's a 30-day view. You know, it's kind of what you get. If you just want to click on the directory real quick. These are just one little pagers that I'm going to hit. Directory's there. Again, we start with the elected officials, contact information. Underneath that, we have all of the department information. If there is a web page on this website, we link directly to the web page. If that department has forms that are specifically located on the home page, on the website, we actually link to those directly. So it's good. It allows people to actually find exactly what they're looking for. They might be looking for the page and not the forms. We provide everything here, including the phone numbers. Going to the right, we just have a quick contact us form, allows members of the public to contact their representatives. Believe everything goes directly to the clerk and is then disseminated from there, which is nice, so the clerk then has an archive of everything that came in. And I could really talk about this probably all day. I know it's nice outside, so that's going to be it, I think, for now. Any questions?
Lights, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. As you guys can all see, that, again, the goal of the council and the technology committee is to streamline the way we communicate with our residents. This website will be evolving in the coming months. We're going to be meeting with Alpha Dog to discuss how can our residents fill out forms online for permits and whatnot, and online payment. I think we do have some online payment, I think, for the tax collector's office. So it's really streamlining it, bringing it up to par with the current technology, and I think this is going to open up a floodgate of information to our residents. I want to thank some individuals, actually just 2 individuals from the technology committee. I want to thank Michael again from Alpha Dog, and I also want to thank Nancy Gomes, who's sitting here. She's one of our city employees, and she has been very active in making this come to fruition. And also, just want to leave you guys with this. This does not cost the residents of Linden anything. So it's totally free. We have a special trust fund that we receive monies to improve our websites and other media. And we're going to utilize that money. We have plenty of it left to keep on improving the way we communicate with the residents of Linden. Thank you.
Councilman Medina, I want to attest to the ability of the website to adapt. I called you probably about 2 hours ago that the council meetings were only back to November 12, and I called our media coordinator, and he assured me if I brought in the disc, he would upload them, and we'd have the complete record of the city council meetings back to January of 11.
Correct. Yes, as Michael explained earlier, you can click on the link for the council meeting. You could view the council meetings on YouTube as a direct link. Maybe in the future there is a possibility to have it directly on the city website, but currently right now it's on YouTube, but it's a direct link, and you can actually look and view all of the past meetings. And I believe, yeah, as Council President mentioned, all the way back to 2011, we'll have that posted up there. So, but again, any information, any feedback on the website, I would love to take them. Give me a call or shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Very good job. Thank you, Councilman Medina. I'd like to move into ordinance on hearings. This is the date and time established for public hearing on ordinance on hearing. Ordinance 5855.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 29, Land Development, Section 29-5.8, Schedule of Fees.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Mr. Kalbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We'll move into the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. In the event that the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda, of items 1 through 5. Anyone in the chamber wish to remove an item? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 5 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into our committee reports, and I'll ask Councilman Colibus for his report.
Thank you, Council President. From the License Inspector's Office, the City Clerk's License Division is submitting this monthly report for the month of July 2014. This office issued 76 dog licenses and 112 miscellaneous licenses and collected $6,741. From the City Office of the City Clerk, the following licenses, permits, transcripts issued in the City Clerk's office during the month of July 2014 and fee received have been turned over to the Municipal Treasurer of the City of Linden. We collected a total of city revenue of $5,278.64 and state revenue is $665 for a total of $5,943.64. Real quickly, for residents of the First Ward, I believe our shade tree lists have to be in, so if anybody has a last-minute tree that needs to be, if they want a tree replaced that was cut down because of a sidewalk or it was not living, please give me a call back at 925-5568. Also, they are doing repaving the West Gibbon Street, at least in First Ward, I'm sure more as well, where they replaced the water lines last summer, so they're getting to that. So they started the last couple of days. Again, any resident, First Ward and citywide, if you have any questions or concerns, you can reach me at 908-925-5568. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Byer?
Yes, I have a report here from Construction Code. The office has issued 158 permits, 13 certificates for the month of July. We have collected $106,418 in fees for the month. I got one public announcement, probably, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of complaints. Since it's been the summertime, a lot of people are trying to enjoy their backyards. And some people enjoy it by using a lot loud music. And other people enjoy it by a relaxing evening or in their yard. They enjoy the weather. And they can't enjoy it with this loud music. And we're getting a lot of complaints throughout the Second Ward about people with their loud music. Can you please be considerate of your neighbors? They don't want to hear your music. Maybe they don't even like the type of music you're playing. So keep it down, enjoy your music, but don't, overflood the neighborhood with it, because I'm getting a lot of complaints. They're sending the police out. The police make them turn it down. They leave. The volume goes right back up again. Now the neighbors are fighting. So please be considerate to your neighbors, and more than just music, and all around. Just be considerate to your neighbors and just be a good citizen. And that's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Thank you, Council President. Approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $2,016,794.64. The bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, and Finance Chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
All right. On to Third Ward news. For residents who aren't aware, especially in Hussa, East Price, and in the area of St. Elizabeth, I believe during the school year, School 8, children will be using the school over there. I know the Board of Ed has met with the police department to discuss traffic patterns and how we're going to accommodate the increase of flow that we may have there, and hopefully getting some new signage in the area. Also, in regards to streets that the water company has been digging up, I don't know if George can explain the process of when those streets are going to be repaved. George, can you talk a little bit about that?
We anticipate starting next week. Most of the streets should be done mid-September.
And George, correct me if those streets should be East Elm, Curtis, so East Elm, Clark Street?
Yeah, in the 3rd Ward.
Yes. Okay. And lastly, I know that residents have been upset about the increase in traffic at Dobson Park and the PAL area as far as the number of instances. I have brought it up to the council's attention this month as well as last month and to the mayor's attention. So I just ask that the mayor please pay attention to our complaints and please address these issues. It seems like we are getting an increase in activity there. So I just want residents to be aware that I am aware of it. I've spoken about it, and hopefully something will be done pretty soon. End of report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President. Just to rehash, the time frame for our shade tree list has come upon us, and anybody who's interested in having a shade tree, please get in touch with us as soon as possible. You can call myself at 908-377-6384, or you can call the clerk's office and forward the information to Joe Bodak. Also, if you have a sidewalk that needs to be repaired, it's time for us to complete those lists as well, and you can do the same. You can call my cell phone or the clerk's office. Later on this evening, you're going to probably hear from our ad hoc committee with regards to an animal control facility and some of the problems that we were experiencing down there. We've looked at a few things, and some very good ideas are going to be put forth. I just want to go on the record as saying that many years ago we had proposed a joint venture with all of the cities in our county to have a Union County animal control facility. I want to say that I would be in favor of such a facility that all the municipalities would be involved in. I think it would afford us the opportunity to have several Board of Health representatives to have input, and I think that overall it would be much better run than what we have here in Linden now. Also, I would like to ask my colleagues on council to just look at this a lot closer and hopefully come up with some different ideas so that we can move forward, because I don't think this is going to happen overnight, but I do think it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of input is going to be required to come up with something that's going to be really significant and create a real change, because things weren't going too well down there. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurley?
Thank you, Council President. From the Transportation and Parking Committee, there was a report that was submitted by Tyrone Gibbons, the supervisor, but I lost it. So I'm going to give that information next month. Forgive me. It was over $61,000 that we did collect from the train station and the parking meters, though. So, but I just want to, so he doesn't think I forgot him. From the Public Property and Recreation Committee, we have bi-weekly meetings for the most part, and we are making small strides here in our recreation department. The day camp, oh, thank you, Jennifer. The day camp program was a success this year, and we're looking forward to bringing new things next year to the program. I currently am asking the residents here in Linden, whether you have children, whether you don't have children, anyone who's interested in just giving us their feedback with regard to the need for a structured after-school program. The survey is on the city website. If you don't have internet, you can call me and I'll send you a copy and we can do a paper copy. The goal is to get the feedback, see what the need is here in our community, and what can we do as a recreation department, or how can we partner with other agencies to make sure that we have something based on the need of the community. So if you can, please consider doing the survey. It's 10 questions, and it's based at what is our need here in Linden. So my report I have now from Transportation and Parking. The total collected was $61,195.30, and that is from the Trenton side, credit card transactions, parking meter, railroad permits, merchant permits. And that was submitted again by Tyrone Gibbons, the transportation supervisor. From the 5th Ward, we have put in our request to have our streets paved through the engineering department, and we submitted some of the streets that have a greater need than others, so we're hopeful that the ones that were submitted will be done. I'm trying to think of the streets off the top of my head, but Still Avenue, Middlesex, Garfield, and a couple other ones that George is still looking at. So we're hopeful that we can get them all done this year. On Sunday, this Sunday, from 12 o'clock until 4 o'clock, the 5th Ward, the 8th Ward, we're going to come together with the Family Community Development Center. We're going to have our annual picnic featuring kickball again, but the Family Center is actually going to have school supplies for the Linden children. So it'll be at the IOZ Park on Dill Avenue. If you're around, come out. It'll be a good time had by all. I think that's all I have. September to Remember is on September the 27th. I'm not sure if we'll be in the dunk tank. I don't know what the police department's going to do this year, but plan to attend if you can. If you have any questions or comments, my number is 908-477-4120. That's talk and text, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Armstead, you had a request to...
Yes, I apologize. I did want to mention one other thing. The County of Union has basically given us some matching funds for improvements in our parks, and they basically have told us to go back to the drawing board on what we intend on using those funds for. And I just thought it might be a good idea if we could utilize those funds perhaps to maybe put a AstroTurf area in the 4th Ward Park, since we do have a lot of football activity going on there, and it could also be used later on in the off-season for soccer. So I think we could probably utilize that facility there. So I'd just like council to keep that in mind, and perhaps have George in engineering to give me a good, take a snapshot and see how much open space is available for such a project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Sadowski?
Thank you, Council President. Just a few remarks. First of all, the tree cutting from Public Works went through 6th Ward. It's a little bit different, but I just want to commend them on the job they did. They did 3 or 4 trees. This is a new crew, and I want to thank Frank Marcucci, who is the boss of that crew, Jeff Holmes, Jamie and Johnson, Bill Sutton, and Brian Stigliano. They did a wonderful job. They were polite. They were professional. The people's trees who they trimmed had nothing but praise for them. And this is what I think we need in a city. So thank you once again, gentlemen. I guess it was July 24th in the 6th Ward, right around the St. Teresa section. One night, we had at least 10 to 15 cars broken into. The cars broken into, all of them, though, they were not locked. There was no damage to the cars. These people just tried every door. If it was open, they took what they could. So please, lock the cars at least. But this was that one night only. In the 6th and 7th Ward, we had started, I think it was on August 5th probably, we had that petroleum or oil train coming in. It came in. There was a bunch of spectators watching it. It was I guess a trial train. And to be truthful, it went off without any hitch. None of the people complained. Maybe 7th Ward later could mention something, but the people seemed satisfied on what they were doing and how they were doing it. The regular schedule, though, still hasn't been set, but the first trial one went off well, without any kind of hitch. In Wheeler Park, they have a new playground built there, and a lot of the residents, 6th Ward residents, they have a small playground for children. They were complaining that they only had one bench. It's true, but this is the county. We've called the county up. They keep promising us more benches, where these people sit on the ground, watch their grandchildren up. But we are trying, but it's not a city problem, it's a county problem. So please, we're still trying to get them. As mentioned before, it's time to send in a list for sidewalks or anything with the trees. If you have a problem with the sidewalk, remember, it has to be from a city tree. I was walking around, I am taking addresses of it, but if I miss some, please give me a call. Number is 908-862-0749. Give me a call. I will put you on the list. They definitely will take care of you. Mr. Minicheko, Councilman Minicheko will talk more about the Blue Acres, but in the 6th Ward, we have 4 houses on Emma Place for people who are thinking about it, but he will fill you in more, a little bit better. I don't know if anyone remember this, but Bill Manhart, he worked in the photo store in Linden all those years. He's been at Del Air Nursing Home for about 10, 15 years. He just passed away this evening. I got a call from them. Bill, if you noticed, he rode around town. He had a motorized wheelchair. He was patriotic. He had the flags and so on and so forth. In fact, he was my committee person for that ward. He was all for the city. He would come out for city events, and I checked his record for the last 12, 15 years. He voted every election with an absentee ballot. So Bill had the spirit. He couldn't get around, but just want to mention it, and our prayers go out to Bill. Okay, a few things, I guess, closer to my heart. Coming up on Sunday, I know it's against your little hot dog thing, but the church at the, where is it? Excuse me. Yeah, St. Teresa's Church, but at the Dircher Club, they're having a Polish picnic. If you like Polish food, Polish music, you can buy tickets at the door. It's been going on for years and years. Please come in, look for me. I'll be at the bar bartending, but if you like music and you like good food, Polish food, please come. It's a fun time. And one more thing dealing with, sorry, last one. It just happens. With St. Teresa's, which is a Polish parish. Wrong one. Sorry. Every year, they send a contingent to the Pulaski Day Parade. It's usually a big contingent with bands, the Linden High School band, a float, so on and so forth. In order to do this, though, they have a sashing dinner. All that means is that they have a dinner where they sash the Miss Polonia and Junior Miss Polonia. The same thing. It's good food, it's good drinks, and so on. If anyone is interested, please. This would be on September 6th at St. Teresa's School Hall. You could either give myself a call, or you can call Sue Lakenda at 908-338-1855. But same thing, if you like good food and you like music at this, please come. Any questions, please give me a call, and I will certainly give you more information on it. This concludes it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sadowski. Councilman Minichenko.
Thank you, Council President. As chairman of the Landfill and Hawk Rise Committee, I'd like to say, tonight we have a resolution on the agenda, Resolution 2014-324. It states, whereas the city will enter into negotiations to generate electricity by the placement of solar panels at our landfill. We have received a proposal from Easy Energy, which whom we will be negotiating, so hopefully these negotiations go well, and we start getting some revenue out of that money pit of the landfill we have there. From the Linden Hawk Rise, if anyone hasn't taken the opportunity to visit the Hawk Rise Sanctuary, they're really missing out a piece of paradise in Linden back there with all the birds and wildlife and everything. And on August the 28th, the Audubon Society will be sponsoring a Hawk Rise early fall migrant. So this is a great time of year to find birds in the beginning of the fall migration. We will search for all early fall migrants in the maple oak forest and spend some time looking at the freshwater and salt marsh habitats for a variety of birds. And the cost of this is free. And again, it's on August 28th. It's a Thursday, and it's from 9 to 11 a.m. As liaison to the Shady Tree Commission, bids were received for the fall tree planting. A contract was awarded to Aspen Landscape Contractors, and the planting will start in the fall, probably mid-November to December 1st. The good news is there wasn't an overabundant request for trees, so whoever did request a tree should receive one. Okay, as Councilman Sadowski stated a little bit about the Blue Acres program for the 6th and 7th Ward residents. On August 4th, I had the opportunity to go to Trenton with the mayor and Mr. Verchik, and we had a meeting in Trenton with the implementation team to identify which houses are part of this buyout. Right now, we're in the early stages of it. For the residents of the 6th and 7th Wards, you should have received a letter in the mail yesterday. Well, not in the mail, but in your mailbox or door. It was a letter from the mayor's office about a right of entry form. If you can, please return that to the mayor's office as soon as possible. Also, consultants will be coming around, taking pictures of the houses that are in the program, and they will be wearing the appropriate identification so you will know them. As my colleagues have stated, next, I am still taking requests for tree trimming and sidewalk repairs. And I also like to congratulate, it's on the agenda tonight, the 9 new sergeants that are going to be promoted in the police department. Congratulations to them. Everyone, enjoy the last few weeks of summer. Remember, school's going to open up pretty soon. Watch out for our children. You can reach me at, my contact information is Edmund Ochenko at Linden, New Jersey, linden-nj.org, or you can reach me at 908-862-6265. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Yamakaitis.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $3,625.50 for the month of July 2014. I attended a meeting with Mayor Grabunka last week in Elizabeth with regards to a briefing on the new Goethals Bridge traffic change. Due to the construction of the new Goethals Bridge, there is a need for the closure of the access ramp in Elizabeth and from the Turnpike exit 13 to the bridge. Therefore, the plan is to build a temporary U-turn on I-278 in Linden to bring drivers to the Goethals Bridge and avoid traffic going onto local roadways such as South Park Avenue and Bayway Avenues. The temporary U-turn will be constructed in the existing grass area on I-278. Construction of the temporary ramp is planned to begin in September or beginning of October, with a completion tentatively planned for December 2014 or early spring 2015. The temporary ramp will remain in use for approximately 4 years until the traffic is rerouted onto the new eastbound Goethals Bridge structure. Emergency VMS signs will also be in place to alert drivers of the change, as well as other possible unforeseen problems. In the 8th Ward, Bachelor and McGillivray Parks in the 8th Ward are closed or will soon be temporarily closed for renovation. We'll be getting new park equipment, so I'm real excited. We've been waiting a while to receive this, so it's going to be a good thing for the community. I also like to invite all 8th Ward residents to join me in the 5th Ward and the Family CDC of Linden for our annual picnic back-to-school jam and school supply giveaway, which will be held this Sunday, August 24th in Iose Park from 12 to 4 p.m. This year, backed by popular demand, we will have our kickball tournament. So we ask everyone, wear your sneakers. And also, if anybody has any, as my colleagues have mentioned, if anybody has any sidewalks that need to be repaired, or we're still waiting for a tree trim in the 8th Ward, so please contact me. My telephone number is 908-925-2309. Now, I'd like to also give a report from the Ad Hoc Committee for Animal Control. I'd like to thank Mr. Armstead for his comments. I invite anybody from City Council who'd like to assist us. We're a very active, busy committee, so anybody like to join on, please join us. Okay. The City of Linden's Ad Hoc Animal Control Committee released a press statement on August 12th regarding the review and recommendations of the committee. I want to assure the public that the City Council and Mayor did not take the concerns addressed by residents lightly. Even though the animal control falls under the Board of Health, which is an independent board with jurisdiction over health matters, the city provides the funding. After the council heard the concerns raised, this ad hoc committee was formed to review such issues and make recommendations to the Board of Health and City Council as necessary. After careful review, the committee is proposing an overhaul of the city's animal control facility and the establishment of both short-term and long-term goals. The Animal Control Ad Hoc Committee recommends the demolition of the current animal control facility and that the city explore the possibility of building a modern facility that is tailored to the needs of the animals and those who wish to assist and volunteer. The committee is proposing that this facility be financed by donations and private funding through different channels, such as a partnership with a nonprofit organization rather than taxpayer dollars. We are also going to explore the possibility of a shared service agreement with some of the other towns who are presently contracting animal service with the City of Linden. We will be meeting with them to see if this is also feasible. The committee has also recommended that the City of Linden's animal control services be contracted out to a third-party provider for the coming year, 2015, and until a new facility is constructed. Therefore, the committee recommends that the animal control facility be closed as of December 31st, 2014. The ad hoc committee also recommended temporary capital improvements be undertaken to the current facility, such as replacing doors, gates, lighting and electrical work, landscaping, ventilation work, and equipment maintenance, to be assured that the facility will remain a viable animal control facility until it is closed. The committee recommends that the adoption of individual animals that qualify for adoption should be handled by a nonprofit rescue group. The committee has met with the executive board of the Friends of Linden Animal Shelter, also known as FOLAS, and our health officer, Nancy Koblis, and we will seek to enter into an agreement wherein the adoption of animals will be handled through FOLAS if an animal's owner cannot be found within the 7-day holding period and the animal qualifies for adoption. The committee also recommended an approved list of rescue groups be established and maintained by the health officer to assist in attempting to locate suitable locations for animals from the animal control facility that FOLAS might not be able to place for adoption. Moving forward, the ad hoc committee plans to continue its focus on the long-term goals while following up on short-term solutions at the current site. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Friends of Linden Animal Shelter, FOLAS, for stepping forward and agreeing to assume the task of handling the adoption process for those animals which qualify for adoption. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone, again. Have a Personnel Committee report. It's kind of brief, so it's not that bad. Item number 1, in the Police Department, the promotion to Sergeant of the following police officers, effective August 27, 2014. Eric Lopez Calleja, William Turbett III, Tom Trasowski, Dan Tristow, Robert Sanchez, Travis Cozio, Ivan Ordenez, Vincenzo Wesnick, and Rick Bachman at a salary of $102,119, commensurate with the collective negotiations agreement with the PBA Local 42. Number 2, in the Police Department, the appointment of Robert Schrump as a full-time parking enforcement officer at the salary of $34,548, subject to the completion of the background check and effective August 25, 2014, commensurated with the collective negotiations agreement with Local 469. Number 3, in the Police Department, the posting of a part-time clerk in the traffic division due to retirement. Number 4, in the city, the approval of the CFO/municipal treasurer to undertake the implementation of the VCS system throughout the city. All city departments are instructed to comply with the CFO's instructions. Number 5, in the Recreation Division, the termination of Anthony McDonald for cause, effective August 11, 2014. Number 6, in the Police Department, the voluntary resignation of Bruce Taylor Jr., effective August 5, 2014. Number 7, in the Finance Department, the approval of the posting for principal pay clerk. Number 8, the approval of FMLA/NJFLA leaves for the following personnel. Employee 150-624-14 through 819-14. Employee 598-718-14 through 1018-14. Employee 100327, 726-14 through 1231-14. employee 160 acceptance of 51 donated sick days. Number 9, the acceptance of the policy to amend the City of Linden uniform policy. And number 10, in the municipal court, permissions to post 3 part-time clerk positions to pay from the POAA account. I'll make a motion for the approval of the Personnel Committee report, and ask a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Thank you. As I mentioned, we have some positions posted on the city website, so if anyone is interested in applying for these positions, please go online. You'll see it is big bolded. You can apply there, print out any documents, and submit it to the city clerk's office. I do have some stuff for the 9th Ward. I just want to thank some folks in the 9th Ward. The residents of Rosewood Terrace actually threw a block party this past Sunday, and they were gracious enough to invite me to come over and hang out with them for an hour or so. So I just want to thank them, and it's actually a good thing to see the community come together and host a nice little block party. They threw on their lawns, they set up a tent on the driveway, everyone brought out a grill, and everyone had a great time. So again, I do encourage everyone to go out there and get to know who your neighbors are. And you never know, by networking, you never know that individual might need some kind of help or whatnot. Also, I just want to thank everyone that came out on July 19th community event down at Newton Street Park. We had a great time. The fire department came out, entertained the kids, had the kids go in the fire truck. It was a great event, and the weather held out pretty good. So I just want to again thank those guys, those folks for coming out, and also thank the fire department for coming out and doing a great job and showing the residents what they do on a daily basis, and again, entertaining the kids. I'm starting to gear up with the police department. School is right around the corner, starting up again. I can't believe it. We've been having such a great summer. It doesn't feel like summer, unfortunately. It feels more like fall, but we got to, can't complain. So I'm gearing up with the police. Speeding is gonna ramp up again on DeWitt and Orchard Terrace between McManus and the high school. I want to take that back, between the high school and School 10, because unfortunately, again, we have 3 schools that's around the Sunnyside area, and it just becomes a traffic nightmare on DeWitt and Orchard, and also Summit. So I'm going to be gearing up with the police chief and the traffic bureau to kind of come up with a plan again, as we did last year with some radar enforcement and whatnot. A couple months ago, we did approve the speed control devices, which are essentially speed humps. I'm going to be meeting with the community, hopefully September 8th. A letter will be sent out to the residents on DeWitt and Orchard to kind of get a consensus and a majority and some feedback on this idea to help control the speeding problems on DeWitt and Orchard. Unfortunately, it just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse, and we're trying to address it with the limited complement of police officers that we do have. Councilwoman Jemakaitis mentioned earlier, the trees, they're getting to us. I'm actually looking at the man responsible for it right now. But again, I just want to thank Frank Micucci. He's out here, but him and his crew are doing the best they can with Luz Caldino on, running on the helm there on DPW. They are doing the best they can with the limited manpower that they have and skills. So hopefully they will be in the 9th Ward soon, few weeks. I'm giving them the eye there. So they can start taking down some of the dead trees. We do have a lot of dead trees, and then hopefully revisit back the 9th Ward and do the actual trimming. Paving, Princeton and Lucian will hopefully start in 2 weeks. I know George mentioned 2 weeks, but that should be finished up. They did some of the curbing and some of the manhole covers as well, so hopefully that'll be taken care of. I did submit my street paving list, so I hope that the engineering department will look at several of these streets and make a determination, especially Palisade and Edgewood, which surround McManus. They're beyond repair, and they need to get done as soon as possible. Other than that, that concludes my report. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. First, I'd like to mention that this year we had the Winfield Park Carnival again. And I would like to thank, first of all, for the patience of the residents affected by this. And secondly, I'd like to point out that, again, thanks to the Linden Police Department, some proactive planning, there weren't any major incidences of issues or issues this year, and it's kind of becoming the new normal. If you go out there and notice the police riding around the area and those types of things. So it's becoming the new normal, and we made it perfectly clear to the organizers of the carnival that, for the security of the level of the carnival that they have, this is what we would really need from them, and they've been very open to that. So thank you to them as well. And, it can never be perfect because you're dealing with so many people, a lot of times coming from out of town to a different area. But this year we did pretty well, and I'd just like to thank everybody for that. And if you have any roundup with that, any kind of concerns, maybe you didn't get hold of me during the carnival, feel free to give me a call or an email, and I can always bring it up or pass it along for if they do have it next year. Secondly, the roads, you're going to see that some of the roads are already getting marked up. Birchwood, Elmwood, and Pembroke Terrace are going to be roads that are going to be repaved this year. You'll be getting notices in the mailbox from me soon once the contractor is done in other parts of the city, I should say. So you'll be seeing that soon. 3, we replaced a number of signs over the last couple of years. Signs were worn down, not reflective anymore, things like that. If one happened to be missed, or if you see one in front of your house or anything like that, give me a call. It might be on the list, but it's better to be safe than sorry, so you can let me know. Also, with Councilman Medina, with school starting, I'm going to sit down with the police, and I think we're going to join forces this year because of our joint school situation. McManus, sits right on the border for us. I have School 9, we share School 10. Basically the same issues are throughout, so we're going to see if we can combine our efforts to see if we can get some more work out there. Last couple of years, we've tried different things. Last year, we focused heavily on North Style Street to try to curb speeders into the town. We had some success. We had the dummy cars out there, things like that. We're going to try to push for that again. 5, the trees, as everybody noticed so far. I think wards 8, 9, and 10 are very, very anxious for tree help. I would like to thank Frank and the crew, though, because when there are emergencies, they are going out there and taking care of them. And I ask the residents to truly, as I do, trust their expert opinion. Every time I put in a tree, they do go check it. Essentially, if I say it's an emergency, please go. Usually within hours, they're out there checking it. And there's times where they cut it down. There's times when they call back and say, hey, listen, this tree looks bad, but it's not so bad. So please, I ask you to, trust the expert's opinion. And if you want a second opinion, feel free to give me a call again, and we'll see if I can get somebody else out there, and I'll meet them there, and we'll go over with your exact concerns. You shouldn't have to be concerned about a tree in your front. But they are coming sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later. And I just want to congratulate the promotions and the new hires. Good luck. And for the promotions, continued good luck and safety in their new positions. And any concerns you have, you can feel free to reach me at 908-463-9234 and leave a message, or drop me an email at akaczynski@linden-nj.org. Emails is always a little bit quicker, but whatever works better for you is fine by me. So with that, I hope everybody's having a good summer and enjoy the start of the new school year. Thank you, Mr. Council President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Mayor? You have a report
Thank
for-
you, Council President. I just want to reiterate what the 5th Ward Councilwoman mentioned earlier about our September to Remember, which is September 27th. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Wood Avenue. Rain date will be Sunday, the 28th. It's a street festival. We have classic cars, motorcycle show, kids have activities, food, DJ rides, vendors, eating contests. It's a fun day for everybody, and I suggest that everybody take advantage of it and enjoy the city and enjoy the community. I'd also like to take the opportunity at this point to recognize one of the promoted police officers, Sergeant Strozak. Would you stand up, please? Also, recently we gave site plan approval to a corporation, Goodman Bircher, the second largest reinvestment trust company in the world, and they are going to be building 5 major warehouses on the old GAF property, which is 143 acres, that's located in the heavy industrial section of Tremley Point on the other side of the turnpike. They intend to put a shovel in the ground at the beginning of next year. When fully completed, we're talking about $5 to $6 million in revenue coming into the city, which will be a major help to the residential taxpayers. And also, if you look on the agenda today, that's going to be approved as a resolution. We're going to be terminating the Morris Linden Associates as our redeveloper for the DuPont property. That's been in litigation since 2005, and finally we're freeing up that litigation so that we could develop 98 acres of property, again, in the heavy industrial section of Tremley Point, that it was formerly owned, that is still owned by DuPont, and was formerly a chemical factory, but it's all cleaned up now, and it has no further action from the DEP. So once we pass that resolution tonight, I'm getting excited because we'll be meeting with the principals of DuPont, and we're going to see what kind of revenues we could get out of putting a facility on that 98 acres. So you can see things are starting to happen on Southwood Avenue, our redevelopment of Southwood Avenue to 176 units of apartments that are going to be geared towards young professionals. That's going to be a spark, as I always say, that ignites an explosion on Southwood Avenue and Wood Avenue, because these young professionals that are going to be going to Newark or New York, when they come home, they're not going to want to make dinner for themselves. They're going to want to go out, and they're going to demand good restaurants and quality stores to shop in. And again, if you look at that property, they're putting up the steel right now, and it's going to be a tremendous improvement to Southwood Avenue. Once Capadagli Builders finishes there, they're going to go across the street, acquire that property, and put up a mixed-use apartments and also retail. So things are starting to happen. We just had a public hearing in the 5th Ward for the Social Justice Complex, which is a 2-block area on East St. George's Avenue that, again, has been vacant since 2006, where we're proposing with the DCA, Department of Community Affairs, to have a police department up there, a court system shared with Roselle, have a emergent care center by Trinitas. Hopefully, I'm going to get a bank up there. Again, this won't happen tomorrow, but this is an area that needs improvement, and what better way for an economically depressed minority business neighborhood than to have a police headquarters there with cops coming to and fro, and lawyers, again, needing places to eat or have a cup of coffee, and that'll stimulate economic growth, but not only in Roselle and Linden, but even in the surrounding neighborhoods. So again, a lot of good things are starting to happen economically. That's going to be a positive for our revenues in 2015 and 2016. And again, I'm looking forward to having a better city because of the continuing revenues coming in to offset residential property taxes. End of report, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're moving to resolutions 2014-292 through 2014-328. Public comments will be permitted if those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the City Clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Does anyone on my right wish to remove any resolutions 292 through to 328? Mrs. Malik? One, 316, 324. What was the first one number? 301. Thank you. In my center? On the left? Motion on the remainder, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we pass resolutions 2014-292 through 328, except Resolution 301, 316, and 324, and I'm seeking a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus.
All to accept, I abstain on 2014-295.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. On 301, Ms. Malik? I'll ask the council members to refrain from comments till the speaker is done, please. Oh, we don't have a mic for you there.
Push the red button.
There you go.
Once again, someone explain the resolution of the governing body relative to the certification of the annual report. What does this consist of?
Mrs. Zach?
Yes, this resolution pertains to the annual audit. Every year, a municipality receives their audit. This certifies that the governing body members have read and understand the recommendations set forth in the audit. This is a certification that has to be sent to the state.
So you say the governing bodies, who are some of the individuals in this?
The council.
The council, okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we pass Resolution 2014-301 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Ms. Malik, on 316, please.
Unusual name, Deer Carcass Removal Services. Street sweeping services, I mean, do we have a lot of dead animals, or what is this?
If I, Mr. Bodek?
Yes. The name of the, we need to dispose of the street sweepings from the machines that are sweeping our streets. That's what the service is. The name of the company happens to be Deer Carcass Removal.
A little tricky. Motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we pass Resolution 2014-316, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Ms. Malik, on 324, please.
Where can we get a little bit more information about this negotiation or the agreement for the solar energy farm to be placed at the landfill, or who can just give one or two sentences on this?
Ms. Balga, this time we went out for request for proposals, which we received, and now this is authorizing negotiations. So at this point in time, we're going to be negotiating with the company, and when and if an agreement is reached, that agreement will be brought back before council, and it'll be available to the public to be voted on.
All right, but when we're talking about this agreement, what is, let's say, the technical content?
Well, that's to be negotiated. In other words, this resolution simply authorizes negotiating an agreement with them.
All right.
So once we reach an agreement, then it'll be brought back before council.
All right, and who's going to be providing some of the technical expertise? Because you're going to be negotiating about something, so is it going to come from our city engineer? Who's going to get involved in this?
We have consultants, Greener by Design, that is involved in this.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. Motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we pass Resolution 2014-324 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Okay, ordinance on first reading, number 5856.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-33, handicap parking, 7-33.1A, handicap parking on street, add 305 West Elm Street and 1106 Hollywood Road.
Comments from members in the chamber? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we introduce 58-56 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5857, Deputy Clerk.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-17, trucks over designated weight excluded from certain streets shall be amended as follows. Delete Baltimore Avenue and add East Baltimore Avenue and West Baltimore Avenue.
Comments from people in the chamber? Seeing none, I ask for a motion, please.
Council President, I move ordinance number 5857 for introduction, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5858, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Add Schedule 4II-5, Police Chief and Fire Chief.
Thank you. Comments? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President, I seek the introduction of ordinance 58-58 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5859.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning to implement the city's master plan land use element amendment.
Comments? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to move ordinance 58-59 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. At this time, we'll move into comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, derogatory comments not to exceed 5 minutes. And I'll ask Gretchen Hickey to come forward, please.
Good evening, everyone. I just didn't feel there was enough excitement in the mayor's voice about September to remember, so I just like to add a few things that we're having that day. It seems we had such a success last year. I'm really getting a lot of phone calls in now. We might have to make it more than one day next year, Mayor. Anyway, we'll have the New Jersey State Roller Girls coming. They're going to be roller skating around all day. We have the we added motorcycles again this year, so everyone will be getting trophies. We have our dunk tank that's sponsored by the Superior Officers Association. I know that Mr. Roth has already volunteered, and so has Mr. Alvarez, and I think there's a few more, so feel free to contact myself or Lieutenant Bobolski if you're interested in being dunker. But you cheat, Rashana, you wore a wetsuit.
Not this year, I want to go first.
Okay, good. I've also scheduled a magician for the children. We have stilt walkers making balloons. In the promenade this year, we're having a whole children's section. Nora Meeslin, who's on the committee, is going to be working with the recreation department where there'll be activities. We'll also showcase some of the projects that the kids did during the summer months that they were nice enough to save for us. We have a couple bands playing, and we're also going to be adding a band down to the end of the street where near Dunkin' Donuts area, so they have music. It was a little request by a few businesses down there. Our eating contest, we're going to add spaghetti this year, which I think will be fabulously messy. We also have our beer tent rides, many vendors, and we also are lucky enough, I just received a phone call last night that Mystic Vision players will also be doing a performance on our stage from the show the Broadway show In the Heights. So it should be an amazing day. And of course, the rides. I've had some really great sponsors, and I can't help but thank them, because even though it's just, I know I'm rambling on, sorry. But they've been very good to us, and I need to recognize them. The Linden Housing Corp., the Housing Authority, City of Linden, Northfield Bank, Linden Airport, Phillips 66, Denval Realty, Amici's has been kind enough to work with our beer tent, and Metro Liquors will be sponsoring all the beverages for our beer tent. So with these wonderful people in the community, I just always ask that everyone supports their business. And we've had a lot of nonprofit organizations in the town, schools, PTAs, who have called already to work on their little committees to make some money, which I think is fabulous. So the word is really spreading, and it should be an amazing day, weather pending. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. Paul Sharpie? Yes. 5 minutes, please.
I'm going to give 5 names. There are 5 animals that were important in my life. One was Pookie, Snowy, Mit Mit, Kelly, and Paulie that I brought from Pennsylvania. 3 years ago, I've asked you to license cats. Mr. Mayor, did I not, at the time my cats were missing, did I come down to your office directly and report it to you? Now, those cats are gone. They're indoor, outdoor cats. And I'll tell you who called in the state. I did. And there's more violations I could have gotten you on. I'm the one who calls this state. And I'll call the federal government in next. I'm the one who called. I've been in government all my life since the time I was born. Councilperson in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. That was enough for me. My neighbor could tell you he has 2 pit bulls and my cats could sit next to them and never be bothered. Now, I'm recommending that beside dogs being licensed, cats, indoor, outdoor cats be licensed. And I would like to be brought up in the next council meeting. They're an animal, just like a dog. And cats have a right to freedom, too, to go in and out of their homes. We don't have to keep them penned in. And garbage trash pickup is in my ward this past Wednesday. And I took the picture of the car, the truck, and everything. It was a little dark. I just got home at night. I took his picture. I couldn't get the license in front. So we lose a lot of metal on trash day. The scalpers come in right around the city. The police have no go out there. Now we could call up our councilman, borrow that new website. So residents, I'm asking you, if you see it in front of your home when you put out trash, just email your council person. You don't have to call down here to City Hall. Just email your council person. Even take the picture, email it right to your council person. There's no website, we could do that. We need better communication throughout the city. So from this day forward, I hope we work together with the new website. The council persons could also get an email from a complaint in your neighborhood, direct it right to your city council person, show the picture, you see something going wrong in your ward, in your parks, or anything. Just email your councilman. You don't have to call him on the phone or wake him up. He'll see it on his computer. And that's all I have to say tonight.
Thank you. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, September 5th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting will be Tuesday, September 16, 2014, at 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, September 16, 2014, at 7 p.m. in the Council Chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Yeah, but it's
Second.
check with another Penn State.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Brown? Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Pedichinko?
Yes.
Yamakitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, good night, everyone.
That's okay.